Welcome back to the first episode of the year of Game of Fives. Now, we have the main man, Liam. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I do. I feel like it's a bit rude calling me the main man on this episode of the podcast. But happy to be back. First one of the year. Got a big guest as well. It's like onwards and upwards this year is what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. We have an incredibly big guest today. Huge one for the start of the year, man. We're really making a statement. Anthony, do you want to introduce yourself for us?
I'm Anthony Robinson. I play for Fulham and the US men's national team. Not sure how big a scale that guest is compared to some of your other guests, but hopefully I can do bits for the first.
No, this is big,
year.
Man. This is like 2023. We've come out with a big punch. We've just said we've got a World Cup player on our couch. That's huge.
That's true. I'll take it.
But let's get started. I think the first thing we want to kind of learn a bit more about, I guess, is your journey into football, because you saying you're a US national kind of men's team player, but the accent sounds very different. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, definitely an interesting journey. So obviously, football-wise, I've been playing since I was a year old. Ever since I could walk, I've been kicking a ball. Obviously, I grew up in England. It's through my dad's side of living in America that I get my citizenship. And when I signed for Everton Academy when I was 12, a bit of a ropey journey through the academy, playing with injuries and stuff like that at a young age, growing is tough, falling out of favour and not starting every game. It was a bit difficult. And then in scholarship year, actually it was the year before scholarship, so I was 16, I got called up for an under-18s camp with the US men's national team. Not the men's national team, sorry, but the US under-18s it was.
Yeah.
And that just kind of gave me a sense of belief in myself that I hadn't had up to that point. Like I said, the belief and the feeling of getting that opportunity, it was always something I wanted to repay by playing for the men's team. So to end up to that translating to going on my first loan from Everton to Bolton, playing well in my first season in professional men's football, and then getting the call up for the US men's national team. It wasn't quite the journey that I thought it was going to be leading up to the World Cup. I didn't have a clue what was in store, but that sort of 4-year cycle to making its way to Qatar, it was special when I look back now.
When you're younger, right, it's the idea of going to a World Cup and just sort of sitting there, especially in somewhere like Qatar where it's so small and all the teams are there. What was that experience like, just being a World Cup player, being out there?
It was surreal, man. So obviously, like you said, it's a dream for any kid to play in a World Cup.
Yeah.
And that was something I'd been aspiring to ever since I'd played for the national team. But then the weeks leading up to it, kind of the timing of the season was a bit weird. I'm thinking, I don't want to get injured.
Yeah.
When do I stop going into tackles?
Yeah.
I remember literally this Man City game, just 2 games before we go away, penultimate game. I was sat in the hotel room, stretching my hamstrings, feeling really nervous, thinking I just had it in my head, I'm going to get injured today. I'm going to ruin it. I'm getting injured today. And it's genuinely the first time I've gone into a game being scared that I'd get injured. Yeah. Never mind being scared about getting bobbed around the Etihad for 90 minutes, which they had 10 minutes. It still happened, but... and then the Man United game just didn't feel any pressure. It was just a really fun game. Obviously, we ended up losing, but we played really well.
On that, we sort of wanted to talk around that anyway. Now, obviously, you're playing Premier League. It's always interesting for fans to know as well, in terms of when you talk about it very candidly in those games, you come on and you think, fucking nervous about today or whatever's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Have you had any games where you've just come up against a couple of those players in the Prem and you just thought you're on a different level, you're a joke? Are there any stand out to you?
So in the Prem, this is funny because people could probably pull up clips and see me getting my pants undone in games that I don't remember. So it's I don't say anyone and they're like, nah, but he rinsed you. I don't remember that, so sorry. But I struggle to think off the top of my head. There's one example I gave from the last Prem season was Rafinha at Leeds. He was a good player, fast. And obviously they play the high press. We were under it to get a result as well, and they were just on us.
Chaos.
So he was going both ways, obviously pressing dead high, but then as soon as he got the ball running at me.
That murder ball.
And then there's one run where he got played down the channel and it wasn't really my job to try, but he still legged it. Sometimes I can get back in, but he was just gone. And then he's got the winning goal. So that was difficult. But other than that, I see players in the Prem like Kevin De Bruyne, who I think that's just mental what he's doing on the pitch, but he's not up against me.
Yeah.
So
you can always appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at him drive to the other side wow. He's got him.
He's so good.
But no, I don't think that there's not too many wingers in the Prem who I've come up against and really struggled with that I can remember off the top of my head.
We're waiting for the comments. We'll get you back on.
That's what I
Get you
mean.
back on, man.
Yeah, just everyone tag me and just tell me who rinsed me. I remember championship. My championship debut for Bolton was against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And Adama Traore was playing.
Oh, Larry.
Yeah, that one.
We've got a story about we had a guy on called Keys, a rapper, talks about playing him at like Fleetwood youth level or something.
Yeah.
He said he was playing left back.
I might have seen this story actually.
Yeah, and he said he was like, I'm gonna smash him. I was like,
And he
so bounced off him.
They're literally the words I was just about to say.
Swear down.
Yeah, that's definitely the clips I'd go back. I've showed these to people when they've asked me. They've said like, "Who's give you a tough time?" And I just pull up the highlights of that game because he was involved in like every goal. I think we got beat 3 or 4-0. I think he got a goal and 2 assists.
So talking to world class players, obviously playing with Mitro. Mitro's on fire at the moment. I just got a bit of abuse there about the comparing him to Cameron Jerome being too good for the Championship, not good enough for the Premier League. But he's obviously proved that wrong. He's like been incredible this season. Like, what's it like? Is he? How good is he? Basically,
I mean, he's a big part of our team.
Yeah.
Big focal point. But I think that's just the way pundits talk nowadays. They can just create narratives of a player where people forget like. He was in a struggling Newcastle team and he got 11 goals. Like when he was a lot younger, things like that. He's obviously scored out many goals in the champ when he's had to be there. And the fact he's stuck with the team. Then the last time we were in the Premier League, he only played about 6-7 games. Like
I guess like he has such a scary exterior, right, to other teams and that fear factor around him. But like, what is he like in kind of the training ground or in the dressing room? Is he that scary in person, or is he just like?
Nah, he's not scary at all. Literally, like I thought that when I remember from the years playing against him in the champ, I would have played him once at Bolton, once at Wigan. And he is just this big, like, scary beast, physical, trying to fight everyone, threaten people on the pitch. But then off the pitch, he's just having a laugh all the time, giggling, dead friendly, dead nice, quite quiet. Like, he's not what anyone would perceive him to be, but he's just a lovely lad.
I actually wanted to quiz you because we did a bit of research and we know that you have the nickname Jedi. Now, we just want to understand kind of where did that nickname grow from and like why?
Yeah, it's not a very interesting story, but I'll tell you anyway. It's literally, I think this is what I've been told because I've had that name since I was 5.
Oh man!
And obviously, I don't particularly remember being 5 that much.
Yeah.
Vague flashes, but from what I understand, obviously, I loved Star Wars at the time. I had all like the little toy. I remember I had this toy where it was like seems so advanced for back then, but it was like a monitor that goes above your TV, and I had a toy lightsaber, and you'd be like slashing the stuff on the TV. I remember that toy. I was trying to find it because I loved it that much. Like the graphic, it wouldn't even fit. It was the old like input, you know, where
the red, yellow, and green. And them things there. Yeah.
So that's what I wouldn't be able to find it now. But I had all that, all the costumes. Loved costumes as a kid. Bob the Builder and that.
You had a Bob the Builder costume.
Yeah. But my dad was my Sunday League manager.
Yeah.
And every team he's ever managed, he's nicknamed his players after like footballers or someone that reminds them of him.
Sick.
And then he started his first football team that was for me. He was like, "Son, you can pick your nickname. Like, this is your team. What do you want to be called?" And I said, "Jedi. I want to be Jedi." For whatever reason, that was just what was in my head at the time. But he would have thought like my favorite player is Thierry Henry of all time. So he would have thought I was just going to say, "I'll call me Henry."
So this part of the show, what we want to do is a little bit of a game of fives kind of challenge element. Now, we always get everybody on the show to kind of pick their top 5 from a certain category. And today, what we wanted to get from you is your top 5 US national players of all time.
All right, I'm going to have to think of my 5
Yeah.
and then put them in an order.
We can help you put them in order. What do you think of a flat 5?
Okay, I'll get my flat 5 and put them in order. For his age, because it's an all-time thing, I'll put Christian 5th because he's still got so much more to do. I mean, like, 3 or 4 years time, we could be saying he's the best ever to do it for the US. So, we'll keep him humble for now. Keep him 5th.
We'll humble him.
4th, we'll go goalie. Timo can go in 4th.
Sick.
I'll go with Brian next.
Yeah.
I think he won't mind me saying that Clint and Landon are probably slightly better technically than him.
Well, you hope.
And then now I've just got to split the two. I mean,
I love Dempsey, man. Even that little spell he had at
That's what I
Spurs as well. He was yeah, I don't know, there was something so inevitable about him when he played, and how good he was in the air as well.
Yeah. And you know what? He was at Fulham, so he can go first.
Yeah.
Landon second, him first.
We'll do that.
He won't. Landon won't fight me, so that's fine.
There is a creative medium you have, right, that I think the world needs to know about. You're a magician in your spare time. Tell us, please, how?
I'm gonna quickly clarify that I'm not a magician, but that I know a few magic tricks, because there's a big distinction. That's like saying someone who can do a few around the world as a footballer, which
I know a lot of people
which
don't
I'm
say
not.
that.
Which
One
I'm
of them
not,
is
so-
him.
There we go.
So I'm not gonna say that I'm a magician, but I do have an interest in some magic tricks. There's a lot of things that I see,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I reckon I can do that.
It's funny you should say that.
We've got a deck
We
of
do have
cards.
their cards. We're going to do a magic cut, I think.
Right. This is. Have you ever heard of 3-card Monty?
Nah,
No.
but I'm ready for
Enlighten
it.
me.
Right. So basically, we start with 3 cards. There's a joker, another joker,
Yep.
and then an ace.
Yep.
So basically, the aim of the trick is like to follow the ace
Yeah, I'll follow
Okay.
it. I'm
to
thinking.
get the money. So if I take the ace and put it on the bottom, what's the bottom card?
It was a joker.
Yeah, joker's the bottom card.
Yeah.
So then what's the top card?
Top pocket.
Joker.
Yeah.
So what's the middle card?
Would be an ace.
Joker.
No, you're not. You're lying.
So the ace is actually on the bottom. So if I tell you the ace is the bottom, you can tell me where's a joker.
At the top,
Yeah, there's no ace on the top. So what's the middle card?
a joker.
No, it's an ace as well.
No, allow it. Get out now. Get him out.
How many cards do you think I have in my hand now?
You've got 3 cards
Yeah,
in
I've
your
got-
hand.
3 cards. So if I make it easy for you and say there's a joker and there's an ace, then what card's that?
Joker.
Do one of you want to? I'm not gonna touch it.
Get out of
Pissed me
here.
off.
Get
I
out.
can't lie, that's actually annoyed me.
What madness is this, bro?
I feel cross-eyed.
That's a
I was
waste
literally- I was sitting there watching
That's
it.
a
Like,
way to win a bit of money. Anyway,
do you know what I don't like? It's to putting the cards back down like it's just
it's
casual.
just
as well.
nothing, like,
Don't-
you've just
like,
done
lads,
nothing
lads,
just
don't worry
then.
about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Give us another one then. We're
Oh
ready.
my god.
I'll do a little bit of a bigger
Nice, that
trick.
little shuffle.
This
That's-
one,
Yeah.
this is a bit more, I guess. It's not quite as long as the one that went viral, but the first thing to do is fan the deck out and just fan the 4 aces.
We can confirm that's an ace.
That's an ace. That's an ace. And then I put it on the top actually, didn't I? Yep, that's the last ace. So happy with these all aces.
Yeah.
Leave them there. Then we just need 12 random cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So as you can see, they're all quite jumbled up, quite random cards.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make 4 piles. Gonna start the big fella, ace of spades, and then we need to do the 3 aces. 1, 2, and then 3 ace. Make these piles of cards. I'll put this a bit more forward. 3, 1, 2, 3, and the last pile goes here. So aim of this trick is basically to kind of lose the ace in the middle of the deck somewhere, and then tap this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 4.
1, 2, 3.
Get
4.
out. Get out. Get out. I cut the camera, man.
I'll do it a little bit slower this time.
Oh, he's taking the piss out of us as well, Kelv.
Obviously, just tap this deck over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. It's a bit boring when you've seen it 3 times already, but I won't even tap the deck this time. I'll just go.
No,
2,
hey,
3,
me,
4.
hey, let's tap the deck,
1,
man.
2, 3, 4.
What?
And then just magically jump up there.
Witchcraft.
That's. I don't understand what's happened.
So you
I
just
don't like that look on his face. It's so
It's the
smug.
confidence.
It's
It's
so
the
smug. Do
confidence.
you know what I mean?
It's not the smug. It's the fact I've just done it on camera and it just worked.
Do you know what the worst bit is? We've got 1, 2, 3,
Promise.
4 cameras, and everyone's going, "What's he
First
just
time
done?"
It worked.
That was, yeah. Oh, my head's gone. Honestly, I didn't need that.
I got so much content views there. It's unreal as well. What a guy.
he's just walked
He's
on
just
this
gone.
show.
Just gone. Your
He's just-
socials are sorted.
He's just taking it over.
What a guy. And people keep moaning, asking me to see new tricks, and you are the ones who are going to get to show them to everyone. It's unreal.
I'm blessed. I do. I am. I do feel like I'm. Do you know what? I still don't really know what happened in the first one. I'm still sitting here. I'm still looking at the shuffling at the start, going, "Oh, that's class."
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like at some point this year, we're probably gonna do a top 5 like guests that have come on the show, and quite frankly, I think you sit at the top right now for what you've just done.
I'm the first one on this year, so I've got to be first, but I'll take it. Hopefully, I stay up there. We were having this conversation the other day: Prime Warzone or Prime Fortnite?
Listen,
Fortnite.
no.
Before the builders came in and started ruined it.
Before the builders came,
Yeah, literally.
Prime Warzone came during lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, like
set up for everything.
it was set up for everything. When I got my first dub on Prime Warzone, I felt like I went out, cycled 100 miles.
How close is that feeling scoring a goal?
Nah, you know what? I was close then. I was close then. I think that first win.
Yeah.
I remember that first win on foot because it's the same as anything. It's like if you hit a good golf shot in front of people, like that feels like scoring a goal. But there isn't anything better than being in a packed stadium scoring a goal. We'll get that right. But if I think of that first Fortnite win and that first Warzone win, they were very similar. I don't know which one I was more against that.
I think the
Prime Fortnite was
hype
unreal.
around Fortnite at that time as well.
Yeah, everyone was playing it. Always had a squad.
Yeah.
It was so funny because obviously you'd had quads on Fortnite.
Yeah.
When Warzone first came out, it was trios was the most you could play. So someone was getting dropped. I just remember
I was always the one.
my mate Jay, if he's watching this, like he got dropped straight away. He was in the bin. We've got some good gamers in our group of friends.
Okay.
He ain't one of them.
He's
Better on this Warzone, but he was crap.
You always got to have that
dropped.
one that you carry though that's just like funny to listen
happy to be
Yeah,
there.
just happy to be here.
I used to have a mate on Fortnite who would start shooting at nothings, pretend he was in like the middle of he would so you'd hear like his rifle going, and he'd be like Joe Pete, if you're watching this, he'd be like, oh, bang, 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 and he'd be like, oh, they're gone. I scared him off. You scared them
wood.
Who did you scare?
Lads, a team West. That's unreal.
That was dropping in the days of Snobby Shores. That was back then.
Yeah.
Not good enough to go. What was the main one?
Tilted
Towers. Tilted Towers. Yeah.
Nah, my mate Jay, every game, he must have said plates about 8 times. He's getting battered and he's just going, lads, anyone got any plates? Anyone got any plates for me?
In the Scouse accent.
Yeah, it was so. Yeah, anyone got any plates there, lads? It was so funny, but nah, I think just because of lockdown and we had nothing to do, I think Warzone just wins it for me.
Yeah.
And I put some hours in. I got really good.
What other? Do you know any other players? That are like serious
Gamers.
Serious games. This is like Jota with his.
Yeah,
FIFA.
with his FIFA.
I think that's a bit weird. I can't lie. I think if you're playing football all day and you're that good at FIFA as well, it's like.
Nah, he's focused, man. I like it.
Yeah, what gamers are good? I think I've heard a lot about Mason Mount.
Yeah.
I've heard he's very good on the sticks. I remember we had I don't think it was lockdown, but we had a tournament where it was like there was a streamer, Sam Ham, who's friends with a few of our boys, and it was like, right, lads, like it's a pro footy player tournament. We're gonna have at least one player in each squad. Like when they brought customs out, and it was like, have your friends in the squad. And I remember them like custom games. I don't know if you ever played one, but they are sweaty. Because everyone thinks like it's custom, and I can't just reset. I'm in a top, so no one like pushes anyone. So you get to final circle. There's about 70 people still alive, and you're all like, it just turns to madness.
Yeah.
So I just remember like fighting in that, and we won one of them games as well, and we were buzzing. Like my mate, his name's Jed as well. Not Jedi, but Jed. He's a big Arsenal fan, and he got the winning kill on Oxlade Chamberlain. So he was just buzzing. He was like, I've killed Oxlade Chamberlain. I'm a joke.
Level of buzz,
hasn't played Warzone since. I've never played with him since. He just won that game. I think he still tells people about it now. It's on his BBM bio. But nah, so yeah, and then I've heard Luke Shaw's a disgrace on Warzone. I
can see that.
Can't verify any of that, but yeah, Mason Mount and Luke Shaw are the two that I've heard big rumours about.
But I guess it's like it's normal now, right? Players in this day and age, like they have other creative interests and creative hustles that they kind of want to fill their time with outside of playing. And I guess it's a way that, in a sense, I think fans always look at players from different teams, specifically in the league, and think they're always against each other. But actually, these are nice moments where you guys come together.
Yeah, I mean, like I seen a quote. I can't remember who it was, but someone said they were talking about golf in this instance.
Yeah.
Talking about playing with like, you know, like proper pro golfers and saying like how humble and nice they were. And they were saying like at the end of the day, like when you get down to it, they are just lads. They just happen to be unbelievable at golf.
Yeah.
And then we're just lads
Same
who
thing,
like
yeah.
either decent. Like, I'll take decent, but there's some lads who are just unbelievable at footy.
Yeah.
But you're still lads. Like you still like find the same stuff funny. You still talk about the same stuff.
Mad, man.
Way
Well,
to end. We're gonna jump on Warzone after this anyway.
Yeah,
So I want to get going.
on that note, I think we've started 2023 with one of the most, I guess, quite frighteningly, incredibly impressive episodes that we've had. And that's because you just seem to have all of these skills that you just nail.
Yeah,
But
Prince William went doing card tricks.
no, he weren't. We have to get him on. We have to do 1v1. Get him in the war zone.
Get him on Warzone.
Do you reckon he'd be any good?
Nah.
Imagine he jumped on the sticks. He was just dropping 20 bombs. That'd be a joke. He's giving out proper comms and that. Unreal. There's lads 286 sniping. Look at the glint.
If he told you, like, go and push that team, even though
You're
know
pushing.
you have to push.
Yeah, I think he'd give like a good speech just to like send me over the line.
I'd feel bad asking him for plates.
And then I go,
Fourth down. Prince
I drop
William.
my controller and run to the kitchen.
anyone got any spare dough? I'm at the shop.
But on that note, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been such a funny episode, so many different stories. And yeah, man, we can't wait for everybody to see it. So this has been Game of Fives. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. Really fun.
Lovely stuff.
Amazing.